Do you know, Jodi mentioned something to me over this past weekend because we were talking about, well, are we going to do vacation this year or are we not? And we still don't really know.
Where are you going to do it?
Right. I don't know, where. But the thing is, most places are making preparations for this, as they should.
I have friends who are at the beach right now.
Yeah, there are people who actually they've gone there because no one else is there.
Yeah.
But the American Hotel and Lodging Association. You're familiar with Sam.
Oh, yeah. Yes, I take their periodicals often.
Right. They're actually, there is one. They've actually set some guidelines and standards for what all hotels and Airbnbs are supposed to be doing for the summer, which is pretty awesome.
You mean for
the cleaning
keeping
and all
things
that?
clean?
Yeah, exactly. This is pretty basic, but like hand sanitizers at key locations or even hand washing, something that allows you to wash your hands without having to go directly into a restroom.
Okay, I'm down with that.
I'm guessing those are going to look just more like hand sanitizer dispensers,
Okay.
more of those in hotels.
Are they going to put one of those by the shower when you come off the beach?
Yeah, they should.
That's a really good question,
Whew.
But I don't know. Do you really need it there at the beach?
Yes, you do.
Hand sanitizer?
We've talked about all the gross stuff in the sand.
What?
There's a lot of gross stuff in that sand.
Yeah, but I don't know that any of it's going to, can a virus live on sand? I don't know.
I don't know.
Now we're over my head. So, yeah, I have no idea. I mean, to me, at the beach, you just wash your feet off and keep going.
Get back in bed.
Although I have known people who unfortunately bypass the hose and they go wash their feet in the pool. That is never a good idea.
It's the worst. And then you take it up to the room and there's sand everywhere. That's bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we know what's in the sand.
Yeah. And then if you don't rinse off the sandy bathtub, that one is really bad. But that's not what any of this is about.
I was wondering, is this all about beach hotels or just?
So no, these are for any hotel.
And then you set up a tent and leave it overnight.
So so a lot of this stuff is things that you would assume would be done anyway. Signs reminding employees, wash your hands.
Yeah.
And just the visual reminders. But the other thing, this rule struck me as funny because I've never had housekeeping barge into the room, but housekeeping is not allowed into the room unless you actually invite them in. In other words, just for safety reasons, they're just not going to push their way into the room. But I've never had that as a problem ever. It's always been
they always
a knock at the door, housekeeping, and I'm like, hey, I'm almost out of here. Can you come back later? Yeah, sure. Please use the do not disturb sign.
Yeah, I've never had a barge in.
No, me either.
So, I mean, but
I've had them show up when I wasn't ready.
Yeah.
Because if I'm supposed to be back early enough before they get there, I'm not ready for them to come. I don't leave the tip or whatever, and then I get back and they're there, and I'm like, oh wait, you weren't supposed to be here yet. Here's some money. I've had that happen before to me.
Yeah,
it's my fault.
The other one that they're going to start, which I think is a really good idea, I just hope it doesn't cost people their jobs, is they're going to do contactless check-in. Where you walk in and you're not going to have to sign anything. You're not going to have to hand anything. And I don't know how the key would work. Is it going to be a dispenser or, how are you actually going to get the key to your hotel?
Some hotels now are going to the phone, whatever.
The fob thing.
The app, and you scan your phone by the door and it lets you in.
My only thing with that is I hope that makes it quicker. I know it's horrible to say, but I mean, how many times have you checked into a hotel and you're like, you made this reservation months ago and you stand there and it's like, why am I standing here for so long when I made this reservation 2-3 months ago? I don't understand that. Now, I've never been on the other side of that as to why it takes so long to figure that out.
I guess it's the busy season. I mean,
I don't know, but I've always wondered. I've always thought, I've been traveling here all day.
Well, you have a reservation, but they need to put you somewhere. I mean,
and that hasn't been done already.
It's probably let's put you on the third floor kind of thing.
Okay.
Kind of like when you go to a restaurant and it's like, where are we going to sit you? Yeah.
I guess so. Okay.
Yeah. Your reservation basically holds a space, not the room, right?
Okay, I guess so.
Yeah.
I guess so. You're right.
But I mean, that's interesting to me. The one that is, and this is to my knowledge only at the Venetian, so this is not going to be at like the average Hilton's, Holiday Inns, and all that kind of stuff.
That's a beautiful place.
They're going to do thermal scanning of everybody who comes in and out. So if they detect anybody with a fever or a temperature above average, Now, my question is, what happens if you're really hot when you walk in? You know what I mean?
A lot of people who stay at the Venetian are.
Yes, that's what I was thinking.
Well, but I mean,
all those dancers, you know.
Yeah, that's actually not what I mean. I mean, it's like it's 100 degrees in Las Vegas in the summertime.
They're gonna have to know
and you
the
walk
difference.
in if you're over, you know, or
I
overheating.
don't understand. I don't know either.
It's going to be a full body scan or just one of those things to the forehead, you know, the temperature.
Well, I'm assuming they're not going to have somebody standing there with it.
Why
It's
would you do a
probably
full
automated.
body? You
I
only
don't
need
know.
this. Yeah, you
Well,
only
the
need this.
scanner's going to have to scan everything. So anything that walks in that's hot. If you walk in with a coffee, I'm sure it'll detect that. I don't know that the inner workings of the technology, but that's what they're going to do. Now, what do you
Right,
do
travel is going to change.
after you've seen that? Do you stop the person, or I mean, what happens at that point?
I don't know.
There's got to be a checkpoint. It's not like you
we're
just
not
walk in the
gonna let you
hotel.
in.
Quick, go chase the guy down who looks hot. You know,
Who needs some Advil or whatever?
right? But these are the kind of things that are being put into place. I think the vacationing is going to change. You know, I mean, until we get past this. The distancing part is probably going to be a regular part of what happens when you go to a check-in desk, you know, or a kiosk or whatever it's going to
Sure.
be. And then just you're going to see more hand sanitizing workstations than you've ever seen, or wash stations than you've ever seen.
I read something
Washing
too.
is more important.
Jody, you
anything.
might have seen this too, like for condo. You know how like condos, you check out at what 10 or 11, and somebody else can be there right behind you at 3 o'clock, and they
So
hurry
it's
up.
a quick clean.
But I think now the way it's going to be is they're going to give it like 24 hours in between.
For
There's not going to
anything
be back
to
to back
die.
to back to back.
Right. For now, that's Airbnb put that regulation into place for their places.
Yeah. I can't imagine that hotels are going to do that, because if a hotel's booked, there's no way that they're going to be able to do 24-hour turn on hotels.
No.
But for Airbnb, I think that's a good move because, you know, there are plenty of reliable, very upstanding Airbnb operators. But, you know, it's not regulated
How do you police
the way
it?
that an industry like the hotel industry is, where they agree to certain standards and
Right.
and guidelines.
Well, one way that it's policed within Airbnb is if you have let's say you have a little apartment over your garage and you decide to Airbnb it, you want to get good reviews. You want it to continue to rent.
Right.
So it takes care of itself. I don't know what the law is of that.
Self-policing.
Thank you. It's going to take care of itself. You want to make money with that, it needs to be clean and up to par and everything that you promise. You need to over-deliver, actually, on what you promise. And then you'll continue to rent because
You know, I think
everybody who stays there gets to write up a little something about you. And if you decide to go on, Sam, and go to an Airbnb this summer, you can read every review of everybody else who stayed there. So it takes care of itself.
Well,
Consumer.
what you're talking about is probably going to impact every hotel, everything. People are now going to be much more conscious of how clean any room is. I bet you, like on TripAdvisor and Expedia and all these where reviews are laid out for travel, that you're going to see a whole lot of that. It's going to be very clean or not clean, more than ever.
Yeah. And it'll change your game a little bit too. Like I am very particular about, I like to take a bath. I mean, showers when I'm in a hurry, but if I need to chillax, I love to take a really hot bath.
Yeah.
But in a hotel room, I clean that bathtub first. I clean it well because everybody else has been standing in it.
Yeah.
Everybody else is taking showers. I'm probably one out of 100 people who take a bath. So the last time I stayed at a hotel, I took a bath and I cleaned it really good. So by the time I get in there, I've earned it because I've been scrubbing.
Yeah.
But that's something that's me. But we have a dear friend. His name is Jim. He travels a lot. He hasn't traveled in a long time now, but he travels a lot, and he's super particular.
Yeah.
He'll change his room if he finds something dirty, and that's within his right.
You got the right
But
to.
he will not put his toothbrush down on the bath counter.
Oh, I don't do that either.
Yeah, I mean, the first time he ever said that, I thought, yeah, you don't do that. You keep it in that little toothbrush thing.
Yeah.
But he puts it on like a towel that he brings himself. He's
really?
He's what he says.
He's extra.
Wow.
That's what he says. So he's already extra.
Well, I think it's going to be, it's probably going to be a great vacation season for that reason. As long as, money's flowing and people have been able to save for vacation, it'll be a good year to go. It'll probably be cleaner than it's ever been before. You know what I mean?
Less crowded because a lot of people will not be able to go financially.
Yeah.
Being honest, a lot of people will not be going on vacation. That was one of the reasons we talked about maybe not going. And then it's just are you ready? Are you ready to be out there?
Yeah.